Somewhere along the way, society sold us a story that to be a real woman, you have to become a mother and or a wife. That your identity, your worth, your purpose, they all crystallize the moment you bring life into this world. But what if that story isn't your story, or if it's not universal? What if womanhood is its own full, rich experience, one that doesn't always include motherhood? And what happens when the two of them collide, or when one overshadows the other? In this episode, we're peeling back the layers of expectation, tradition, and choice. We're going to talk about what it means to be a woman with children, without children, and everything in between. This is not a debate. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to fight y'all. I'm not trying to persuade you. It's just a deep dive into a conversation, one that's going to challenge us to honor all the paths, all identities, and all versions of womanhood. All right, y'all. Welcome to Mommy Needs a Minute, Episode 2. How do we define motherhood? Is it only biological? Like, in order to be a mother, do you believe that you have to birth a child? Have you, and I don't believe that's true. I mean, for one, I have two bonus babies in my life. And before I had my own daughter, those I treated them like they were my children. And so I didn't feel like, and I still don't feel like you have to physically birth or bring life into this world in order to assume the role of a mother. No, you may not, go through the biological processes that one goes through to birth a child, but can you still nurture, care for, guide, support, fix, help resolve problems, be called mom? Absolutely. And I feel like there's so many women in the world that fit that category. And they may not even be called mom. They may be called auntie. They may be godmom. They may be, I don't know, TT. Whatever they are called, they still fill that role for a lot of children. So no, I don't personally feel like you have to biologically um bring a child into this world to fill the role of one of mother for a child. A lot of kids nowadays, because of how society is even set up, they have multiple sets of parents. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of parents that are like, a lot of kids don't have the same parents um, in their home. There's a lot of co-parenting that goes on nowadays. And so there's going to be maybe two sets of moms, two sets of dads, or father figures or mother figures in that child's life. And, if that person really does care for the child genuinely, then they will ultimately assume the mother role. Um, I know personally for me, um, in my household, when the boys would be over before I became an actual mom, I helped potty trained, I wiped butts, you know, I gave baths, I gave showers and all that stuff, helped pick out clothes, bought clothes, all the things that I think a parent would do. Cooked for, still cooking for. And didn't think twice about it. You know, if because the love, the nurture, the was there genuinely, and I never questioned it. I never wanted them to question if what they felt from me was real or genuine. I never wanted their dad to question it. I didn't, you know, it was just, but that's just me. And so, um, I always felt like whenever it came time for me to assume the role of a biological mother, if that was going to be my, you know, my path, it was going to come natural. I didn't think that it was going to ever be something I struggled with. Um, and I still don't think it's something I struggle with. I naturally am nurturing, and I know that's not true for some women, and that's okay. You know, not everyone is that, you know, nurturing being, and sometimes we have to tap into it. Sometimes you have to be, you know, you have to something has to happen in order for you to tap into that part of you. Um, but I do believe it's there. Um, I also think that sometimes there's like a cultural or societal like overlap between um, womanhood and motherhood. And what I mean by that is, I think that society prepares little girls to be moms. Um, when we have doll babies, we treat our doll babies like they're our little children, like they're our daughters. We do their hair, we do their we dress them, we feed them, we we take them everywhere we go. Um, that's our baby. I don't know if little boys did that with their action figures or their boy dolls. I don't know if they have boy dolls. Like they didn't. I never saw my brother, you know, try to give his doll a haircut. I don't even know if he had dolls. Like, do they make dolls for little boys with real hair? I have no idea. I know there's a Ken doll out there, but it's been so long since I've actually been in the toy world. Um, but I don't think that there's dolls or figures for little boys to practice being a father figure on. And so, you know, even growing up, little girls, myself, taught to cook early and clean, and the expectations, and we can always say these are double standards, but no, little girls are taught to cook, clean, and cater to um, the needs of the home early in life. Little like boys are taught to clean as well. It just doesn't stick with them for some reason. I don't know what it is with little boys, but little boys is dirty. They don't like to clean. They don't like to um they just don't. I don't know why they are how they are, but you know, if you're a parent of a little boy, you understand what I'm saying without me saying it. But yeah, like we're taught, we're not groomed. I wouldn't call it grooming, but we're taught to see, you know, that the overlap. There's like part of womanhood is doing X, Y, and Z. And at least in America, I don't know if that, I can't, and not even in America, in the Black culture. I can't speak for other cultures because that's not my culture. But I know in the Black household, in the Black culture, um, these are things that are taught. And they're subconsciously taught sometimes because they don't even know that they're doing it. Like you've seen your grandmother cook for your grandfather. You've seen her, my grandfather used to have us iron his pants. Like, why you can't iron your own pants? Like, we ironed his work pants and his, not all the time, but that was a thing. And I can almost bet $100 that he never asked his grandsons to iron any of his pants. And so there was just certain expectations and things that we were taught from a very early age that as a little girl growing up that kind of helped mold what the ideal of woman and the role of woman should be or looks like as an adult. And that's what this conversation really is about, like motherhood versus womanhood and the overlapping of the two. Um, or can they coexist together? Do they coexist? Can you, what defines womanhood and what defines motherhood? Um, I often think that sometimes in society, um, we're taught that we're, as in women, we're taught to see motherhood as the final form of womanhood. Like, in order to be a true woman, you have to become a mom, not become a wife, not have a career, not, you know, pay your taxes and and be an upstanding citizen. The true definition of womanhood sometimes is being a mother, is motherhood. And is that fair? And like, what if you don't want that for yourself as a woman? What if you can't become a woman, become a mom biologically on your own? Or why is that? Why, like, where's that pressure to become a mother as a milestone? Where does it come from? And is it still there? Do you think it's still there? Do you feel like that's still one of the ultimate milestones in womanhood, is becoming a mother? And I can say that for me, um prior to me having my daughter, um I had gotten to a point where I was okay if I did, and I was okay if I didn't have a baby. If I became, but some part, well, let me say, some days it was, I would have the thought, like, I don't want my branch on the family tree to not have any leaves and any extensions on that branch. I don't want my story to kind of end with me. I did say that probably a few times. But the older I got and the more comfortable I was becoming, like in my career and my abilities to travel and move as freely as I wanted to, I was still, I started becoming more okay with, with the thought of not possibly having my own child. And I was okay with that. Now, don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted at all. I absolutely am ecstatic at the fact that I am a mom and that I have a daughter, because I feel like we're given the children that we need. Um, and my daughter is amazing. She's a ball of joy and energy and always smiling. And I need that, at least right now. And I don't know what she will be in the years to come in life, but I'm hopeful that energy that she has will continue to remain. Um, but we're given the kids that we need, the children that we need. And so I'm very excited and very happy about my journey as, in motherhood, starting this journey in motherhood. But I was definitely getting to a point where I'm like, I'm good, y'all. I want to travel. I want it to work. I want to do happy hour dinners. I want to do happy hour. I just want to do happy hour. I just want to go. I want to get up and go, and when I please, I want to come home late and be and do all the things. I was okay being just an auntie. And so but things changed. Things changed, and here we are. But we also get that pressure from, brace yourselves, our mothers. And let me just say, and don't take this the wrong way, Shirley, or any other moms that are in my life. Um, this is not personal. This is just from what we've experienced and heard amongst my friends. But conversations went from, when you get married, when you get married, when you getting married, when you gonna settle down, when you gonna do this, when you gonna do that, yada 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 yada. To here we hit 30. It was still, when you get married, when you get married. Then we hit 35. No, we hit 33. Do you want to have kids? Are you still thinking about having kids? So do you want any? Then we hit 35. Well, I might not even. I want grandkids. I want more grandkids. Then we hit 36, 36, 37. I'm like, do you care about anything other than these damn grandkids? Like, parents get to an age where all they want is grandkids. And I'm just like, well, can I have a career? Can I have some? Can I save some money? I don't think I'm in a place where I need to bring kids into this world. They don't care. Parents don't care. They just want some damn grandkids, so that they can spoil and treat differently than than they did with their than how they treated their kids. But the conversation, the pressure became real. Like, y'all, y'all used to want us to have families, and y'all used to want us to do things in the proper order. But at some point, y'all said, forget it. I don't think they're gonna get married. I don't think they're gonna have it. It ain't, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby, and the baby. They said, skip all that. Can I have a grandkid, please? Like, the pressure became real. And I know, like, in today's times in our society, women are having babies later and later because we are deciding to pursue careers and not just go to school, but walk in our careers, change careers, and then walk into a new career. Because, I will say, pursuing the career of your choice and the things that you really desire and enjoy, that's fun. That's purposeful. Like, going to work is one thing, but the day that I chose to quit my job and pursue my own, like, start my own business and become a consultant, that was the first time I think I took a breath of fresh air. And it was cool. It was so cool, and I was still able to do the things that I wanted to do, not all the time, but I was still able to do all the things. I was able to go out. I was able to eat out. I was able to travel. I still hung with my friends. I did things in moderation because, yes, money was a little bit different, but money was still coming in. Money was still being made. And I didn't have to answer to nobody. And that's what I wanted to do. I still want to do that. I don't want a boss or a supervisor. And so the goal is still the goal, but that was what I desired to do. And had I had a child in that moment, I don't think I would have been able to do it how I did it. And maybe I still can do it, but you have different considerations. You have different things to think about. You have, insurance and stability of income coming in. Like, you can't, if an invoice doesn't get paid, how are we gonna feed the baby? I can worry about feeding myself, but how are we gonna feed this child? They don't understand that we can't have whatever we're having because, or whatever we want, because the invoice hasn't been paid, or invoices haven't been paid. They just want what they want, and they need what they need. And so I pursued my career, and I did things, and a lot of women are. And kudos to you all that are making those boss moves and starting your own business and walking in your purpose and actually discovering what you like and what you really love and enjoy, and running after it, chasing it full speed, and putting like children on the back burner. Children, as long as all your parts still work, the babies will come. And I feel like babies are, like I said, the children that we need are given to us. And I also believe that they will also come in their appointed time. And so um there was not a real rush for me. And personally, there was no real rush. Um Very unexpected, but like, not a much appreciated, but very grateful. And so my next thought is like, can womanhood be whole without motherhood? Like, because of how society is set up, and how we've been groomed, and not groomed, how we've been prepared and brought up to feel like, or to think that, the ultimate pinnacle of womanhood is motherhood. Can you be whole without motherhood? For me, I did not feel whole. Like I said, I didn't want my branch of the tree, of the family tree, to not have any leaves or any branches on it. But even though I was feeling that I was good either way, I still didn't feel whole all the time. I felt like there was something missing. And that personally might have been because of the fact that I had lost a baby previously. And so maybe that was what that hole or that void was. But I don't know. And I can't say, like, if that situation would have never happened, would I have been okay with, you know, never even experiencing pregnancy and all that stuff. So, like, I do believe that you definitely can be whole. Um, but what do you think? Like, is that something that you feel like, um as a woman who does not want to have children, and I have friends who have made the decision to not have children, and I don't feel like any type of way, and I hope, like, and I've never really thought to ask them, like, how do they feel, um how do they feel, excuse me, um when someone may ask them, like, why you don't want to have kids. um quite frankly, I think it's pretty cool. Like, everyone, children aren't for everyone. And I wish more people understood that, because every woman that brings a child into this world is not a mother. Um, Unfortunately. And some people should not, just because they have the biological capability to do so, shouldn't bring a baby into this world. Um, but that's their choice. That, to each his own. But people who choose to not do so for whatever their reasons are, I think that's pretty damn commendable and pretty dope. Like, because we do have a choice, right? Like, we ultimately have the choice and decisions to make on whether or not we want to go down that path. And they said, not for me, but I'm still going to be a woman. I'm still going to do all the things. I'm still going to walk in my femininity. I'm still going to be soft. I'm still going to walk in the role of a woman, even though I don't have children. And that's okay. And it really is okay. I don't feel like that should determine anything for a woman just because she doesn't want to have kids. The choice not to become a mom, it should be respected, just like a choice to not, you know, I was gonna say a choice to not vote, but that's people really will shame you for not voting. But um if we have a choice, like, why do we have, like, why is there any type of shame or disrespect or um ill will or whatever? What, like, why is it frowned upon if that choice isn't what you think it should be? Um there's so much societal judgment towards women who prioritize, like, their careers and have the freedom of, to pursue other things. But what if they personally don't believe that they are going to be a good mom? And what if, like, for whatever reason, like they know that, oh, I'm a selfish person, and if I brought a child into this world, I would be very unhappy, and that child might be unhappy, and I may not do the things that I needed to do for that child to have a happy life, and they do it anyway. Like, is that fair for the child to now have to grow up with a selfish parent in a situation where they won't have the best quality of life? Oh, but she was a woman and she got pregnant, or she should get pregnant because she's approaching 40, or whatever. Like, these are the things that, like, these are the societal judgments that um we hear and that are out there, and that some women face because they choose to walk a different path. And honestly, I feel like it was a baby boom last year. Like, there was so many people that had kids last year, including myself. There, I swear I know at least 10 women who had a baby, including myself, last year. Um, which is crazy. And most of us had girls. So that means the cycle is going to repeat itself at some point. Like, and that's just in this one locale, one area where we all had kids. I don't know what happened in 2023, but in 2024 there was a miniature baby boom, and we all decided to repopulate. Now, I will say that sometimes there's a stigma of having a child, like, of living child free, versus, like, the glorification of the maternal sacrifice. Um, there's stigmas to both, right? Like some people believe that from a maternal lens, looking outward at the child free people, the child free women, like, damn, they get to go and move and whenever they want, they get to wake up and not have to be woken up or have to feed, bathe, or care for any individual, um, any small person. There's no one depending on them. If they decided to go hang out with their friends, they can do so. Um, these are the things that that we're looking out and saying, damn, I remember those days. But then you have like the child free person looking at us sometimes and they're like, I wish I could have those moments where it's the family at the park or the family at the festival, or I take me and my kid and we'd have mommy and me dates and we go get our nails and pedicures done together, or we go get our hair done together. Or there was moments where a son and a dad and his son go play, go play ball together or go to a game together and they spend time together. There's always, depending, whatever lens you're looking at, it's always going to feel like the grass is greener on the other side. But that maternal like the glorification of the maternal sacrifice, please don't always glorify it. Like the maternal sacrifice for the child or the child or children that you have, it's hard at times. And I'm new to this. Like I am just now getting my feet into the situation, have not experienced what most people or what some people have experienced yet. But I can tell from my experiences of looking at other women go through things, sacrificing for your child is no easy task. It's not something that I believe that mothers do a lot because we want to. It's because we have to. We're put in positions because we're putting in certain positions where that's there's no choice. You either gonna make it work or you're gonna make it work. Um, and I will say that mothers hold it down. I haven't had to do, some of the things that I've seen a lot of mothers do, but when people say they make, a dollar out of 15 cents, or they can stretch a paycheck, or they can make Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas holidays and gifts, like I've seen it all. And no shade to the dads, but moms do that shit and they do it well. And they do it and they make it look effortless. But I know that sometimes just seeing the smiles on your kids' faces is enough, and sometimes it's not enough. I know that the emotional strain is crazy. The emotional, struggle and the the trauma that you may have had to go through to make some things happen. There's a lot of silent tears that may have been shed. So there's a lot of sacrifice that happens that um is often glorified, but it's not always an easy thing for moms to do some of the things that they do. And the ones that do show up and make that sacrifice, kudos to y'all for holding it down, for making a way out of no way um at times, and for showing up when no one else will show up for your child. um it gets real. It gets real rough sometimes, but that's life, right? That's the life that we either chose or the life that chose us, um with these kids. And how our mothers and how our grandmothers viewed, the roles compared to how we do now is very different. I know that my generation of women, we're very independent. Very. Because we had to be. We had to be independent early in life. Um, we had to be, you know, we went to school, came home by ourselves. We were the generation that, started preparing dinner before help mom out. Um, when you get home, don't open the door for nobody. uh, we did a lot of things for ourselves because our parents were working. I don't know if they were boomers, but they were the working moms. Um, and so what we call latchkey kids. Yeah, latchkey kids. We had to do a lot of things independently. We had to learn a lot of independent skills early in life. And so because we had to be independent children, we grew up to be very independent adults. And y'all made us go to college. And so we went to college and um, we became educated, independent women. And then Neo came out with his song Independent Woman, Miss Independent, and that became an anthem. And that kind of like fueled a fire of independence in women. We really, I mean, let me choose my words wisely. Um, in my opinion, women can do a lot of things. Um, and we can figure out a lot of things. We do need men, and we do want men to be present. But I feel like we want them present. Um, versus back in the day and during our grandparents' times, a lot of our grandmothers needed men to do certain things because they weren't capable or able to do certain things. Like for real, it just became it was what legal in the 60s for a woman to have a bank account without her husband. So things like that, like she could in the 60s and 50s, if I was born, I wouldn't have been able to have a bank account without my husband approving said bank account and having access to said bank account because I was his wife. I wish somebody would tell me right now that I can't open up a bank account. I got like 7 bank accounts. I lie. I have like 4. But like there's multiple bank accounts and multiple like we couldn't wear pants. Like legitimately not you shouldn't wear pants. There was a time where you could not wear pants. Um working, you couldn't work. So like there was a time where you couldn't work like in an office or anywhere. There was a whole movement, the women's suffrage movement. There was a whole time period where women just could not, and they would not allow us to do things. And so when we got the opportunity to do those things, we said we're going to do it all. Like, so there's a lot of things that I felt like maybe women just are trying to like make up for lost time. And so we are striving to be the most independent, educated beings on on the planet. So because for so long we had to rely on men. And ladies, I don't know about y'all. If I had to rely on a man for something, you know how many times I've asked for something to be done and it doesn't get done until like the fifth time I've asked? Mind you, I can do it myself. But can you imagine not being able to do it myself because I don't know how to work a hammer? I don't know how to work a screwdriver. I don't know how to paint or do anything, and just was like helpless. And I'm not saying that the women of that time were helpless beings. Please don't get me wrong. Please don't think I'm saying that our grandmothers were helpless individuals and only were capable of just tending to the family and the house. That's not what I'm saying. But the times were different. The roles and expectations were different. This is probably why my grandfather thought I needed to learn how to crease his work pants and iron his pants for work because of the time period that he grew up in and what he thought the role of a young woman would be. He knew what he saw. I Our generation, we know what we saw. We also know what we were taught and what we read. Y'all told us to go to school and learn. So we went and learned some things. And we learned that we don't have to do those things anymore because now we know more. If you know better, you do better. And each generation is supposed to improve, right? And so I know that my daughter is going to look back and be like, my mom did a lot of things that I'm not going to do too because I know better and I'm doing better. And that's how we evolve. That's how evolution occurs, right? And so can they coexist? Can you be a woman in your fullest form of womanhood and while being in your fullest form in motherhood? That's up to you. I really feel like it's individualistic. It's it's gonna be different for every person. Um, I absolutely believe they can coexist. I do believe that I can be the career woman. I can be a socialite if I chose to. I can be all the things that I used to be in my pre mom phase of life, but at the appointed time, because now I'm a mom, and it just added to my womanhood. It did not um take over. It did not overshadow. It's not nothing's going to take a back seat. It's just a new facet of my life or a new phase of me has been introduced. And so now I have to learn how to be this while being this, because I'm not going to stop being a woman because I'm a mom. I'm not like I still want to feel sexy. I still want to feel like I look good. I still want to feel like I can go out and, you know, I still want to feel all those things even though I'm a mom. Like, I may not have I may not feel that right in this moment, but that's not everyone's story. Um when you're a new mom, for me, it's taken me a minute to find those things. Again, because of how I feel about my physical appearance. Um, Pregnancy changes the body. Shit. Like, it does some things to us. And so it takes some time sometimes for those things to come back. But absolutely, I always catch myself, looking real homely, looking like looking like I've been looking like, been thrown up all day. I ain't moisturized my hair. I ain't laid no edges. Ladies, still find time to still get your hair done. Go get your brows done. If you were a person who got your lashes done all the time or did your lashes, do your lashes. Go get your lashes done. If you were a person that got your brows done on a regular basis, get your brows done. Get your nails done. Do the things that you used to do that made you feel like a woman when you can go do them. Like hair appointments, my hair has to be done. It's not done right now, but I got a hair appointment tomorrow. But that's my normal. Every 6 weeks, I go get my hair done. And so, well, 4 to 6 weeks, depends. But that hasn't changed. Um, if you were a person who got their nails done, get your nails done. I was a person who got their nails done all the time, but then I got my nails done and then I started scratching the hell out of my baby all the time. So I had to take a break. But going back to getting my nails done, they made me feel a certain way. Getting your feet done, getting your brows done, getting your lashes done. Going out having a drink with your girls once in a blue moon is not going to. You're not going to be a shameful mother if you go out and have a drink, even if you breastfeed. I'm a breastfeeding mom. Having a drink is not going to do anything. You're still going to produce your milk. You don't have to dump it. Like, plan. I just feel like proper planning has to be in place for things to happen now. That's the difference. I can't just do all the things all willy-nilly. There has to be a plan. Yes, I need a plan for a babysitter, whether that's her father or someone else. I can't just come home and say, I'm going out, I'm leaving you with the kid. Because that's not fair. That's not how things work. And so impromptu things probably don't happen as much. But if I plan to go to brunch, or if I plan to go out and have drinks with my girls, or if I plan to do something, or we have to do things that incorporate the baby sometimes. But women, ladies, get sexy again. Put that shit on. Put some perfume on. Put a little, concealer under our eyes, brighten up our face. We know what to do. Do it. And do it and walk into and make motherhood part of your womanhood. They don't have to compete. They don't have to take the back seat because motherhood supersedes. Nah. They can coexist. And so that's my that's my rant for the day. And that's my I'm leaving you with that. Moms, find time to get back to who you are and who you were before you were a mom. Give yourself grace, give yourself time, but get back to it. Don't take too long. That baby gonna be there. Them kids gonna be there. But put some clothes on. Put some smell good on. Them little 4-minute showers we take when we have these newborns. Take a 12-minute shower. Turn the music on. Dance a little bit. Have fun. Let your hair down. Enjoy motherhood as much as you can. And those who are on a journey or a path where the joys of motherhood don't come as easy, Find joy in the simple things, in the small things, and build upon that. The joy will come. Children are beautiful. Children are blessings. No matter how hard being a parent can be, the children are a blessing. And if we allow them to be the blessing and bless our lives, the joy will come. So I thank you for tuning in. This was my Mommy Needs a Minute. This minute was a long minute this time. It's because she's asleep. Baby girl is asleep. I was able to get this in. I thank you for allowing me to talk your ear off for this almost an hour. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Come back for episode 3. Have no idea what we will be talking about, but I will be having some guests coming on soon. I'm excited. If you would like to be a guest, if you want to sit here and chit chat with me sometimes, let me know. If this is on you, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let's get into a conversation in the comment section. If this is on Spotify, like and share this, please. Share this with a friend. Share this with any new mom that you know, any seasoned mom. If you're experienced, tap in. But again, thank you for tuning in. I love y'all. I mean it. All right, I'm out.